So when we talk about success, we often have this, well, this standard picture in mind, don't we?
Yeah, like a straight path,
Yeah.
steady job, comfortable life.
Exactly. But what does success actually look like when your brain is wired differently? When you're navigating the world, say, with autism spectrum disorder, it kind of challenges those standard ideas.
It really does, because success for individuals on the autism spectrum, it's rarely about fitting into some pre-made box. It's
Yeah.
more of a journey, often with, unique hurdles, but also, and this is key, with extraordinary strengths that often get overlooked.
And that's exactly what we're diving into today.
Yeah.
We're drawing from a collection of interviews and perspectives found in sources discussing AutiPower, that's successful living and working with ASD.
Yeah, we're hearing directly from people with autism, their partners, coaches, experts. It's quite a mix.
It feels like a chance to get past the clinical terms, maybe.
Definitely. To hear the lived experiences, the actual voices of people navigating this day to day.
So our mission here in this deep dive is to pull out the most powerful insights, the strategies, the stories. What does AutiPower really mean in practice?
How do people not just cope, but actually thrive? How do they leverage their unique ways of thinking in a world that, let's face it, isn't always set up for them?
It sounds like a really powerful exploration. Resilience, discovery, understanding your own operating system.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's set the stage a bit. We need to understand the landscape here. The sources talk about what ASD is, but more importantly, the diverse impact it has. What's the main takeaway?
Well, the absolute core thing, the first thing to grasp is that ASD is a spectrum. And that word really matters.
It's not just a label.
No, not at all. It reflects this huge range of experiences. Like Drew says in the material, it's a big puzzle, and some of the pieces are missing, never the same for any two people.
So the challenges, the strengths, they show up differently for everyone.
Massively differently. And, there's even discussion within the sources about the terms themselves. Maxine notes there might not be enough evidence for a really strict line between Asperger's and other forms.
Interesting.
And Ben even questions if the label fits at all for some highly gifted or sensitive individuals.
So right away, it's complex. Even the definitions are kind of up for debate.
Precisely.
Okay, but are there common threads, like challenges that many people describe? What's that sort of pervasive experience?
Yeah, there are definitely common themes. One that comes up again and again is the sheer effort involved in social interaction and communication.
Okay.
Jap, Corinne, Jan, Mark, they all talk about social anxiety, the difficulty reading situations, understanding the unspoken stuff.
That sounds exhausting.
It really can be. And then there's sensory sensitivity. That's another big one.
Tell me more about that.
Well, Frank mentions sharp hearing, needing earplugs. Barbara talks about being just overwhelmed by sound and images. She says even grocery shopping can leave her totally drained because of all the input.
Wow, just grocery shopping.
Yeah, and Corinne finds that even physical exercise, something usually seen as positive, can actually cause overstimulation for her.
So it's not just like noticing sounds or lights more.
Yeah.
It's a real physical or mental impact.
Exactly. It drains your energy. Then there's planning, sequencing tasks, seeing the big picture. Corinne mentions struggling with that.
Getting an overview.
Right. And interpreting social cues, body language, abstract emotions. Frank, Jan, Dominique all mention that challenge.
And all this leads to what?
It often leads to this deep feeling of being, fundamentally different, not fitting in. Jap, Jan, Barbara, Robin, they all echo that sentiment.
That feeling of being on the outside looking in.
Mm-hmm. And when those internal challenges clash with, external misunderstanding, it's a really difficult spot to be in.
A double bind, yeah.
Absolutely. Because overstimulation isn't just uncomfortable. It can lead to, intense physical symptoms, even meltdowns. Jap, Corinne, Barbara, Dominique experience this.
And how does the outside world react?
Often, unfortunately, with misjudgment. Nan remembers being called a child of the devil. Barbara felt people saw her as lazy, cheeky, sharp. Karen's need for clear instructions was mistaken for lacking independence.
Oof, that's tough.
It really is.
Yeah.
So the insight here is crucial. The challenges aren't just internal. They're hugely shaped by how others react or fail to understand.
That paints a really clear picture of the hurdles. But then the conversation shifts, doesn't it? This is where AutiPower really comes in, focusing on the incredible strengths.
Yes, and this is so important. The key insight is that the very traits that cause difficulty in one situation can be the source of exceptional abilities in another.
How so? Give me an example.
Okay, so what might look like rigidity to some, that can translate into incredible focus, amazing attention to detail.
Right.
Ted, for instance, could identify kidney stones on ultrasounds better than average specialists because of this detail focus. Jap talks about examining things meticulously. Ted even used the systematic approach for cooking, needed the steps written down perfectly.
That structured thinking, it seems like a real asset.
It absolutely is. Strong analytical skills, systematic thinking. Jap, Ted, Frank, Dirk all highlight this. Dirk also mentions traits like honesty, loyalty, reliability, really valuable qualities.
Consistency.
Yeah, and consistency. Plus, expert skills, often strong visual memory. Dirk uses this in software testing. Ben describes himself as a visual thinker.
And the sheer dedication. You mentioned Ben working 90-hour weeks.
Yeah, that's mentioned. That kind of intense focus and drive to build something, it's remarkable.
Wow. It's not just analytical skills, right?
No, not at all. Creativity is another strength. Robin uses art, music, writing. She even uses songs to help teach concepts.
That's brilliant.
It is. And underpinning almost all these stories, you see immense perseverance, resilience,
They've had to overcome a lot.
a huge amount. Jap, Ted, Robin, Frank, Dominique, Jan, Carlo, Ben. Their stories are full of overcoming significant obstacles through sheer determination. The point is, these aren't just coping skills. They're powerful assets when applied in the right way.
Okay, so you have this unique mix of challenges and strengths. How do people actually navigate the world day to day? What strategies do they develop?
Well, this part of the source material is fascinating. The insight is that navigating life with ASD often means building a very intentional, very personalized toolkit of strategies.
A toolkit. I like that. What's in it?
Foundational stuff first. Self-acceptance, really understanding yourself. Jap and Frank's journeys show that. Then, a big one is stimulus management, actively controlling the input.
How do they do that?
Jap talks about filtering information consciously. Frank uses earplugs. Corinne organizes her environment very carefully. Dominique plans travel meticulously to avoid surprises.
It's like designing your own user interface for interacting with the world.
That's a great way to put it. Structure and routine are also vital tools. Think of Ted's cooking methods, Corinne needing structure, Dominique choosing known travel groups.
Makes sense. What about the social side?
Ah, yeah. Many learn what they call social survival strategies or tricks. It's almost like learning a script or copying how neurotypical people behave.
Learning by observation.
Exactly. Ted, Dominique, Jan all did this. Mark specifically worked on practicing eye contact. It's like learning the rules of a game everyone else seems to know instinctively.
And there seems to be a mental shift involved, too.
Yes, a really important one. Focusing on abilities, not deficits. Robin, Ben, Corinne really emphasized this.
Play to your strengths.
Right. Jap found setting clear targets and focusing on the goal helped him avoid getting lost in details. And crucially, learning to communicate your needs clearly and specifically.
That takes courage, I imagine.
It does. Jap learned to do it. Elsbeth stresses how important it is to explain requirements clearly to employers. Asking for feedback or help, like Jap did, is also key.
Practical skills.
Very practical. And then there's this powerful mindset shift some adopt, like Ben actively choosing your path, refusing to be victim, taking responsibility.
Owning it.
Yeah. Finding your tribe, too. Accepting subcultures or environments where you feel you belong, like Barbara and Dominic found, that makes a huge difference. And using creativity, like Robin, not just as an outlet, but as a way to communicate and connect.
So thriving really requires this conscious effort, this personalized approach.
It does. Self-management and managing interactions.
Building that toolkit sounds like a lot of work, though.
Yeah.
And people don't do it in a vacuum.
Right.
What about external support?
Oh, absolutely critical. That's another major insight. Personal strategies are vital, yes, but external support is often the scaffolding that makes thriving actually possible.
Like what kind of support?
It starts early, sometimes. Supportive parents and understanding upbringing, Jap felt he had that, which contrasts sharply with Jan's difficult background. Understanding partners are huge. Ted's wife, Thea, the couple's Maxine counsels.
Real allies.
Definitely. And finding professionals who get it. That seems crucial.
You mentioned, Maxine, finding clients who'd been misunderstood before.
Exactly. Specialized therapists, counselors who genuinely understand autism are key. For work, job coaches, rehabilitation agencies that take a personalized approach, really understanding the individual and advocating for them with employers. Elsbeth and Corinne's stories show how vital that is.
Advocating.
And peer support. Groups like Carlo's Autism 10 Top or Dominique's PASS activity, that sense of community, shared understanding, knowing you're not alone. Invaluable.
It sounds like the environment itself, especially the work environment, plays a massive role.
Fundamentally, the need for clear instructions, structure. Elsbeth sees this constantly. Ted needed things written down. Employer flexibility is huge.
Making adjustments.
Yeah, like Frank needing a private office or Corinne needing her role adapted. That willingness makes or breaks success sometimes. And maybe most importantly, as Dirk discusses at Passwork, matching the person to the right job and the right company culture.
The right fit.
That's the key. When you find that fit, potential gets unlocked. The environment matters just as much as the individual's skills.
But the sources also say finding this support, finding that right environment, it's not always easy, is it?
No, definitely not. That's a really crucial point. There's still a widespread lack of understanding, even among professionals, like Maxine's examples show.
Right.
Stigma, stereotypes. There's still big barriers to acceptance. Maxine and Carlo both mention this. And systemic issues matter too. Elsbeth points out government cutbacks making it harder to access necessary support.
So societal barriers are just as real as the internal challenges.
Absolutely, they compound the difficulties.
Which brings us to the bigger picture. How does society view autism now, and what do these sources suggest about maybe the future?
Well, Maxine and Dirk are very clear. We need more understanding, more acceptance, less stigma. Simple as that.
A call for change.
Definitely. And Ben offers this really thought-provoking idea. He suggests that maybe the challenges people with autism face, like information overload, shifting social norms, aren't just about autism.
What do you mean?
He thinks maybe society as a whole is starting to grapple with these things, and people with autism are perhaps experiencing these modern stresses more acutely, almost like precursors.
It's like canaries in the coal mine for modern life.
Sort of, highlighting issues that affect or will affect everyone. It's a powerful reframing, isn't it?
It really is. It shifts the focus. It's not just about individuals needing to adapt to society, but maybe society needing to adapt too.
Exactly. It makes you question outdated systems. Ben talks about education, Jan about rigid social structures, Elsbeth about what the job market demands versus what's truly valuable.
So the sources push for a shift.
Towards focusing on abilities, on potential, not just limitations. Robin, Ben, Dominic all argue for this. And you see positive examples like Passwork or Autism 10 Top.
These initiatives that actually work.
Yeah, they show it's possible. They create opportunities, change perceptions by showcasing the incredible skills people have. They prove autism does work.
And there's a benefit for companies too, right?
Absolutely. Dirk, Maxine, Elsbeth all talk about the tangible benefits focus, reliability, analytical power. But Dirk adds an important point. Inclusion shouldn't just be about ROI.
Return on investment.
Right. It has to be about genuinely valuing different ways of thinking, different ways of being.
That's a deeper level of inclusion.
It is. And the sources also touch on vulnerabilities. Maxine mentions some individuals might be more susceptible to control or abuse. So while we celebrate strengths, we also need safeguards, support systems. It's complex.
It really is a complex picture.
Yeah.
But the main thread, the big insight from all these stories, it feels like, success isn't about trying to become normal.
No, not at all. As Ted's wife Thea apparently jokes, normal is boring.
Oh, right.
The really profound takeaway from Jap, Ted, Robin, Corinne, Jan, Carlo, all of them, is that success is about thriving as yourself.
Finding your own way.
Exactly. Finding ways to build a fulfilling life by recognizing your unique strengths, developing those personal strategies we talked about, and finding or creating the right environments and support. It's about discovering and harnessing that inner AutiPower.
AutiPower, yeah. And, that mention of the Eindhoven study, higher rates of autism in a region known for innovation, that really makes you think, doesn't it?
It does, about the untapped potential in looking at things differently.
It's a really compelling thought. So wrapping up this deep dive, what we're seeing is that successfully navigating life with ASD, it's complex, it's challenging, for sure, but it's also this incredibly empowering process.
It's a journey, isn't it? A journey of deep self-discovery, strategic adaptation, finding the right support, and ideally landing in places where your unique abilities aren't just tolerated, but actually valued, unleashing that AutiPower.
And thinking about these stories, what strikes me is how much of that journey, building self-awareness, managing your environment, finding strategies, seeking support, how relevant that feels for everyone today.
That's a great point. For anyone trying to navigate our complex modern world, regardless of how their brain is wired.
It makes me think of that analogy Jap used.
The airplane kit, yeah. Most people get a finished plane and just need to learn to fly it, but people with autism get a kit they have to assemble first.
Right. And what if that process of assembly, that conscious effort to build self-understanding, strategies, support, what if that's becoming kind of essential for all of us now?
In this fast-changing, stimulus-heavy
Yeah.
world,
Yeah.
maybe that assembly process holds lessons for
Definitely
everyone.
something to think about long after this deep dive.